defense.
Whoa, what up? Welcome back to Split the Defense. We're live for the LEAFS post-game show presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. I'm Jordan Webster with Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans in the booth. LEAFS defeat the LA Kings 3-1. And 2 third-period goals were really the difference, but who do you have as the first start tonight? Who was really the difference?
Oh, Austin Matthews, I think, is the number one star. I mean, also just Jake McCabe putting in so much work on the back end night after night. Yeah. What do you think?
I think Anthony Stolarz absolutely had a comeback game for himself. He showed 100% why we had so much faith in him early in the season. As soon as Joseph Woll gets some ground to say he's going to be the playoff goalie, Anthony Stolarz says, not so fast. That's what it seemed like to me tonight.
Yeah, he had a good game. It wasn't like he didn't have a stellar game. He wasn't asked to, I didn't think. But I felt like he did exactly what he needed to after the first, blow up a bit on Benoit there. He didn't have much of a chance. So, yeah, great to see.
Oh, it was great to see. You know what else was great to see tonight?
One sec.
Oh, no worries.
Continue.
You know what else was great to see tonight? Was a lot of fun. Was the Carlo fight. The Carlo fight was a hell of a go. A whole lot of man in Brandon Carlo, 6'5", that guy is. And that is Brandon Carlo's first fight in 2 years. This guy never drops the gloves, but he full on has the passion now and is just willing to go to bat for his brothers. He is in it, just like the rest of them. Comes out all bloody. That Malott guy causing ruckus early. First gets into it with McCabe, and then him and Carlo scrap. So, Malott was obviously pissing people off, and Carlo was having no business of it. But we brought in Ryan Reeves, who isn't on the team currently, to fight last year. I think it was last year you came here for the first time. And since Craig Berube has become coach this year, we have had 11 different Maple Leafs get a fighting major. Do you think you could name the 11 different Maple Leafs who have a fighting major this season?
Oh, wow. That'd be tough. I could try. Do you have the list there?
I do.
Okay. Domi, obviously.
Yep.
Ryan Reeves.
Yep.
Simone Benoit.
Yep.
Jake McCabe.
Yep.
Now it's going to get tougher. Matthew Nyes.
Yep.
Scott Lawton.
Yeah. You got 6. You got 5 more to go.
Carlo. Does that count?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. Oh, Lorenz?
No.
Really? Okay.
He hasn't gotten into a fight.
Not Bobby McMahon, Matthew Nye or Matthews, Nylander, Tavares. No. Jeez, I'm running out here.
So the other ones are Holmberg, Dewar, Myers, and Riley, and then Reeves.
Oh, I didn't say Reeves? Yeah, I said Reeves. That was one of my
Yeah, maybe you said Reeves. Yeah.
But
Riley, Myers, Dewar, and Holmberg are the other ones. Oh, that's a lot of guys throwing fists. Everybody's chucking them now. Nobody cares. Everybody's willing to go. And it's really fun to see a guy with the stature of Brandon Carlo willing to chuck him. Like, that is a whole lot of man out there. That was fun.
He didn't think twice about it either. It might have even been his idea, but also too, just after you have a huge slip like that at the beginning of a fight, to come back and still hold your own, that's always tough. I thought right at the beginning he was going to be in for a tough one, but
for a defenseman, he did not play very much defense in that fight. They were
Oh, yeah.
just chucking him back and forth. It's just like punch me in the face and then I'll punch you in the face. No, punch me in the face.
I think
It
he
was an intense battle.
I think he also wanted to go a little more rock'em sock'em than they actually did. Like he was willing to just stand there and throw, and then like he noticed there was a bit of defense on the other side, so he was like, "Oh yeah, okay, let's do that a bit." But yeah, good to see though. I've loved every moment of Carlo. I mean, the first game was kind of tough for the whole team, but um, I think that he's fit in just so perfectly. Maybe like I'd like to see the D pairs switched up permanently, but other than that. I think that he is just he fits in like a glove, and to see that he's also willing to chuck him, great to see for sure.
Great to see. The other guy that we could probably give a star to, if not the first one, would be Papa Tavares.
Yes.
Who is this guy? He gets the second goal of the game, another goal on the season. One of his best seasons as a Leaf so far. He adds an empty netter at the end. I have one serious question for you, CP. Where do I buy an amulet, and should I buy an amulet?
I mean, like if you're playing any type of sport, you should probably get an amulet. It's
I probably
or
just
you
need
just
one anyways.
or you need a kombucha or kombucha. What is it again?
I
How do
don't
you
know.
say
I've
it?
never tried that before.
Yeah, you need that on tap because I think he's drinking that every day. So yeah, I think put those together and you just got a rejuvenated season. So yeah,
Have you ever
love to
had
see it.
kombucha or whatever the hell it's called?
I don't think so. No, kombucha. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, well, whatever that is, if he
It's like
keeps it
a
up, I may have to
weird,
try it.
fruity, healthy with a little tinge of alcohol in it.
Is
Um,
it now?
yeah. There's like a 1% alcohol in it, I think, if it's made properly. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's because there's like a big fermented ball of bacteria floating in it.
yeah.
That.
Like, it literally is like it's a fermented juice or something.
Oh,
Um,
great.
yeah, John Tavares' favorite drink.
Yummy.
But I mean, it's just crazy to think like you've brought this up in the past of just like thinking about getting this type of value on the end of his contract. Like it's crazy to see, and that we want him to stick around for like next season and beyond, probably. I'm just thinking about how much money we're going to have to pay him because this is not looking like it's going to be a discount so much. Because, I mean, when you think about other teams in the league like that have young budding stars, what would be better than to add John Tavares to the list? So I just think I'm getting scared in that way, but he's looked amazing. And that second line in general, I think, has just been a breath of fresh air that they've been put together, and finally it's working for sure.
Yeah, the second line overall does look threatening, and it seems like we've really gotten the first line figured out now because it was like, excuse me, either one line or the other is going. So it's nice to see McMahon fit in with them. But really, I think like a lot of credit has to go to John Tavares just having an unbelievable season this year. Like, it's like the man does not want to stop playing hockey anytime soon, and he's really trying to show that like I don't know whether it's like it's he was holding back before, and this is something he always had, but it's coming out now. Well, and he needs a contract, and it is the time, and it's all just lining up for him. John Tavares looks the best he ever has, and like if it's the contract, and then that's great for us because he's just going to continue to play great. And that's all we need from John Tavares is for him to be the best that he can be because we just paid him $11 million a year for 7 years or whatever and got absolutely sweet dick fuck out of it. We got one playoff round out of 11 years, $11 million over 7 years. So, good. Play out of your mind this year. And whether you come back or not, this is the John Tavares that we were hoping for this whole time. So it's nice to see that now that we still have this stretch run coming up and a shot towards the cup, as small as it may be looking right now, that John Tavares is playing some of his best hockey of his career.
Yeah, I mean, also like I feel like there was a couple years there when I thought that we were missing out on Tavares's most threatening years, where you could, when you have him in the playoffs, and it's like we got two lines that really can do something. And I was worried that this year was going to be that year where it wasn't like it been times gone past that were our best chance at things. But really makes me feel good that you really got something with him. And Willie's kind of still doing his thing. He's quietly, not so quietly on a 50 run. So yeah, it's been good to see. And you just like, I know it sucks that like everyone's been screaming that these top two lines need to be switched up and everything, but it is kind of like we have been able to go back to just these six guys, and it work, and if it's not working, it's because it's gotten tired, and it doesn't mean it shouldn't be changed once in a while. But I think we always end up at this spot because it is the best version of these six. There's still an argument to be made whether the team looks better if you spread them out and have given that a chance at all this whole year. But if, we haven't, let's just, it is what it is. And I kind of, if you want to kind of swerve here into a pivot, like the third line, I think tonight look like, even though they are the line that's out there when the puck goes in the net, but that was Benoit's fault more than anyone. I do think that I like this version of the third line, even though
So
like,
that's
Nick
Lawton,
Robertson-
Domi, Yarncroke.
Yeah,
Is that our third
yeah,
line?
Lawton, Domi, Yarncroke. Yeah.
What is that line?
I mean, I think it's
Are we
a
gonna
line
like bring out a defensive player in Max Domi? Is that what feels like 2/3 of a shutdown line and a defensive liability trying to make plays?
The one thing I'd say is I would like to see Domi and Lawton switched, having Domi on the wing and Lawton down the center. I'm not sure why we've given up on Lawton being a center so quickly, because like that's what he's played the majority of, and big minutes doing it. So just because he didn't fit in right away doesn't mean that you just don't give him that position. But yeah, I think it's like a line that is semi.
I don't know if it's.
And hasn't.
I don't know how much it is
Lawton
against
once in a while.
Scott Lawton, or maybe it's more just Max Domi because
Headset.
Max Domi
I
when
can't hear you.
Sorry. When Max Domi is center, he is forced to move his feet. And we've seen when Max Domi's at his best is when he's moving his feet. When Max Domi is at his worst is when he is a winger and he's waiting for pucks and he doesn't have momentum. So he really needs to be running around the zone, I feel like, to get the best out of Max Domi. So I'm not sure if it's Scott Lawton isn't your best option for center, or if it's that you're going to make Max Domi work at all, that you're going to have him at center instead. So can you hear me now, CP?
I can barely hear you, but I didn't hear you for a while, and I'm still trying to figure out my headset part of it. Say something now.
All right. So I was just saying that I think it's maybe more of a Domi thing than it is a Lawton thing, that they're getting, Domi moves his feet more when he is a center, and when he's not, that is when we've seen trouble Domi. That is when we've seen the least productive Domi. That's when we've seen not the guy that we want. And maybe it's less that, that Lawton can't be a center, and more that that's what you need to get the most out of Max Domi, who is more valuable to this team than Scott Lawton overall, or supposed to be on paper.
Yeah, like I do agree. I think Domi is better offensively when he's down the middle. But I do worry about just if like this is a third line you're going with, and I would like to see it the other way. Let's just say that. I'm not sold that it is the better way, but maybe just switch them up for a game and just see like if Domi can, if both of them fit into that position. But if it does stay just the way it is, I still think I've liked it better. Maybe it's just the idea of it, of just being like three guys that actually seem like third line guys. And then you just see if it can kind of work. I don't know. We're in a weird kind of spot. You'd really like to have it more figured out at this point. It's like we're getting late in the season. What do we have, 9 games?
Oh yeah, it's too late to tinker now. It is what it is, right?
So I think
Lawton seems like he's a winger on this team.
Yeah, I think so. I as long like Berube just seems to be stuck on that. It is what it is. I think I like that though. If he's going to be a winger, put him on. It's better than on the fourth line, and it's better I think than like Holmberg. Yarncroke seems like a guy too that has a little bit of scoring pop that we just seems to show up here and there, but hopefully it shows up in the playoffs. That's for darn sure.
So Yarncroke for me, I've been kind of waiting, and like he came in late, like really late, and like we know we know how hard that is. As of just recently, William Nylander held out over the contract thing, came back, played like shit, and William Nylander's William Nylander. So could do that to anybody, right? Yarncroke was out, had an injury. It's even worse. He's recovering, coming back, trying to get back at it. I've noticed lately, the last couple of games, he looks excuse me, he looks a lot stronger, a lot faster, a lot more willing to get in to the shit, if you will. And I think that Callie Yarncroke is really amping up his game for a spot here on the playoff team. And I don't hate it. When I see him now go out and play like that, I've kind of wondered, like, where the hell has that been your whole career here as a Leaf? Maybe he was hurting. Maybe that's why he didn't play like that. But he seems much better now. Much, much better.
Well, I just think part of it is he's getting his legs back, like coming off an injury and only being able to do so much conditioning. Part of his game is being fast and getting into corners. The one thing I think is just hasn't shown up yet is the shot. We're just used to, he does have a really good release, a nice shot. He usually lets it go in the middle of the slot, lower slot, and we haven't seen much of it. And part of that, I think, is just opportunity. You haven't seen him get any type of shot up the lineup, and when he has, he hasn't really had a steady set of line mates. So if this sticks, I really hope it's gonna work, because just running out of options. But Yarncroke, I like Yarncroke. I think he gets a little bit of heat because he's a little bit dull and average, but he can pop, and I think I just trust him a little bit more. Yeah, Justin Miller says, "Do we miss Robertson?" And I think potentially, but is there a shot of putting Robertson on in the lineup at some point? Definitely. I don't know. It sucks that it's a guy that's everything you've asked of him, he's kind of done.
Yeah,
And
he's definitely improved.
yeah, and still doesn't seem to cut it for me to make the lineup, but I guess we'll see. This is the first time he's been scratched in a while. You brought it up that he wasn't in the scratch rotation. And it just seems like now he is. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't want to see a fourth line with Robertson on it. It just seems like it's not right. I like the fourth lines that he's been going
No,
with,
not
a
unless
little
you had Jason
heavier.
Spezza. If you had Jason Spezza on the fourth line, you could put Nick Robertson on the fourth line, but that's not the way our fourth line is built. You don't put him with Steven Lorentz and David Kampf. That makes no sense.
No, what's he gonna do? I mean, he'd be quick on pucks, but no one's gonna give him an opportunity to take a nice shot. That was the nice thing about him playing with Domi for a bit. But yeah, I don't know. It's I don't want to scratch Yarncroke for him, and I definitely don't want to scratch Lawton for him. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, keep the scratch rotation, I guess, and whoever plays the best continues to play. I don't know, the Berube has an absolute hard on for Holmberg, so he's definitely going to continue to play.
Yeah.
And I mean, Nick Robertson, he when he gets scratched, he comes back and scores. So maybe they'll just wait and save him. Good old scratch and score. He'll come back for a big game and score a goal. I mean,
Yeah,
at the end of the season, it's going to come down here to the last couple of games. The last game might be important to win the division. You may need Nick Robertson to come off the bench and pop one in, because after he sits for a couple games, he's all horny and comes back in and he'll pop one. But
yeah. I mean, at worst, he's
I don't
good
see him coming
insurance.
back before that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I do think that if you played, say, the next 5 and you solidify that these are the 12 you want to go for, then you maybe start rotating them through, and you're just resting guys kind of before. I'm not sure we're not going to
Yep.
see him again. And also you want to get him in
But that's
games
it.
because he is the insurance. Someone goes down and he's the first man in. So you don't want it to be a month since he's played a game. So yeah, at least have him in there. But I do think first 3 games probably at least he's probably scratched.
Playoffs start, 22 days from now?
Man,
Yeah.
that's creeping up. Holy,
Yeah.
that's
There's the
crazy.
19th, I think. So, and yeah, it was the 29th today. So we got 3 days left of this month, 19 days. Yeah, 21 days, 22 days from now. Playoffs start. So it won't be a whole month, no matter what he's going to be on the bench. Yeah, I'm sure he'll play again once or twice more, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's just that secret weapon that's left to be brought in for a goal when needed.
Yep.
What else you got for this game? I want to ask you, who's one Leaf that absolutely bothered you tonight that you think you need more from?
Oh, I mean, it's Benoit. I do think that like he is prone to these blown tires, and it's not really blown tires, just like a lot. I don't know. He just gets beat. That was kind of the one thing I was gonna say. Is like I really would like to see a different version of the defense where you get OEL up playing with Carlo and bring in Myers to play with Riley. And it is Benoit has to sit, but I want to see that. Like I'm surprised that we just like kind of stuck with what since the trade deadline we haven't seen any other version. So yeah, that's my one thing I want to see, and probably the guy that I'm not sure I want. Like you do want more from him, but Benoit is who he is. He's a fringe lineup kind of guy, and I don't think you should be afraid of sitting him down once in a while. And it probably just brings out a little more fire in him. We've seen him like he has gone through stints where he just gets like 6 or 7 hits a game, and then other games where he gets 1 or 2. And so maybe it's not a bad thing to try something else and get him a little more fire in him.
Yeah, I absolutely. I don't know why they insist on playing OEL Benoit, and like why do they have when they have perfectly good right left combinations? Like, is Benoit that much better than Myers? I feel like they're interchangeable. I feel like it's like the left-handed version of each other. Like one's a little bit bigger, the other one maybe a little bit, I don't know, more willing to play the offensive puck. Like I don't know, like better, just slightly better breaking it out. Like they are the exact same player, but they're pretty fucking close. And as far as like talent level, they're pretty equal. So like, why wouldn't you just play the right-handed guy in that spot? I don't get it either. Then you'd have 3 right-handed guys on that side. You'd have Tanev, Carlo, and Myers. And then all of a sudden everything seems balanced and it all makes sense. But we have not seen that yet. Do you think we see that in the next game? And we play tomorrow, I think I heard them say. Is that what the hell happens here? Yeah, tomorrow, 8 p.m. game, a Sunday, 8 p.m. game, of course, against the Ducks. Great, 8 p.m. Oh, lovely.
The only thing,
do you think tomorrow Myers gets in maybe because it's a back-to-back?
I mean, even if you're not going to go as crazy to do my OEL gets pushed up, at least like just try him there and OEL can play on his normal side. Yeah, I'm not convinced we're going to see it because we haven't so far, but it's definitely the number one lineup thing that I want to see.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, do you got anything else you want to talk about from this game, or shall we wrap this sucker up? We'll be back here tomorrow night.
I think I guess my only thing on my mind is Wall getting the game tomorrow, and hopefully we get a good performance from him. But maybe if we don't, it's just solidifying who's going to be playing in game 1. So we shall see.
Do you think the Leafs fall asleep against the Ducks, or do you think that the last couple of games against the Sharks have woken them up to a point where they're going to try tomorrow? It's also a back-to-back. Like, what do you expect in that game tomorrow? Is it going to be a good game?
I expect what I always expect from a game against a shitty team, and it's me to be scared and them to play that way as well. And just seems like we get a lackluster effort every time. So we'll hopefully it's not, but that is every single time we play a bad team. I'm just like, wow, that's not going to be good. Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. It's not going to be good, but we're going to watch it anyways. And if you are a masochist like we are, we'll be here right after, live on YouTube and live on Facebook. But for now, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us on Split the Defense Leafs post game, presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas since 2004. Leave us a comment, hit that like button on your way out of here, subscribe to our YouTube, and until next time, peace.
Bye-bye.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_shook.